Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the importance of automated demos in the age of AI procurement with Elizabeth Marino. My name is Robin Mercado, and I'm an account executive here at Consensus, and I will be your moderator for today's session. DEMOFEST is presented by Consensus. Transform how you sell with Consensus, the first product experience platform. Automate demos, drive faster decisions, and accelerate growth. You can learn more at goconsensus.com or click Watch a Demo at the top of your screen right there. We encourage you, of course, to participate in today's session. You can find a few ways to engage with us on the right-hand side of your console. The chat function will allow you to connect with us as well as other attendees. You can find some helpful resources in the Docs tab. And lastly, your speaker will answer any questions even throughout the actual presentation, so I can hop in and make sure that she answers that as time goes on. But if you want to save your question for the end of it, you can pop it in the Q&A box on the right-hand side as well. If at any time you're having any technical difficulties, head to the gear on the bottom of your screen, and that is where you will see a help document to troubleshoot any common issues. And now I would like to introduce our speaker, Elizabeth Marino. In 2000, Elizabeth funded a full-service revenue enablement company in Buffalo, New York. With an overachiever mindset, she increased top-line growth per rep revenue generation in dozens of enterprise and mid-market companies. She's still at it. Now, as an independent consultant, she helps businesses get the most from their revenue teams, from onboarding to the tech stack. Additionally, she is the president of the executive board of directors of the International Revenue Enablement Society. And with that, I will turn the rest of the time over to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon. For those of you who have seen me before, here at this event or others, you know that I love for you to shout it out. So by all means, Robin wasn't kidding. Interrupt me, please type something into Robin and she'll interrupt me, but I want to hear from you and I'll be asking you questions throughout, so please answer them. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you what we're talking about here. We are talking about the importance of automated demos now here in the age of AI procurement. And this is a new time in procurement. Things have changed dramatically. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the rise of AI in procurement. We're going to talk about the challenges that solution engineers face because of it. We're going to talk about the role of automated demos in getting found by AI procurement. We're going to talk about how to create effective automated demos that get you found. And then we're going to talk about how you as a person, right, need to interact with other humans after you've been found by the AI. So a whole lot to get to. Ready? Got your track shoes on? We got a lot to cover. So buying technology has changed a lot in the last 3 years. And what I mean by that is twofold. Buying a product that is technology has changed, but also the technology of buying has changed a lot in the last 3 years. AI-driven procurement tools have revolutionized the technology evaluation process. And if you think about it, this started when people started talking to Siri. This was the beginning of AI-boosted procurement. When we started saying, Asian restaurant near me, great pizza near me, great pizza, Dallas, Texas, if we're not in Dallas, Texas, right? All of this was the beginning of AI buying. And over time, we learned to optimize for that. Like we learned to voice optimize. Then it changed some more when product-led growth models became the big thing in SaaS. So there were all the freemium models. More and more customers demanded customization because they got a look at the product early on. And so when they started talking to a seller, they said, well, I love everything about your product, but, right? And wanted personalization pretty much from the first meeting. Now buyers feel like they're expert level consumers because their AI told them something, right? How many of us have gotten an acre of pain and called Dr. Google, right? And diagnosed ourselves with, a fatal condition when it was really a muscle strain. We all do it, right? We're all sure that we're an expert when we're not. Brands that fail to effectively integrate automated demos risk being excluded early in the valuation process because now AI demos exclude and include, or I'm sorry, not AI demos, AI boosted procurement models. So when I ask my procurement software to find me blah, 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 3, 5 viable vendors for X, that's all it gives me. It doesn't give me page upon page upon page of Google search. It gives me the 3 to 5 that meet the parameters I've set. So by mastering this balance of AI-driven automation and meaningful human interactions, we're going to make sure that you remain competitive and that the folks who come to see you as requesting a demo actually want to see you. So earlier in April, Google announced that over 70% of AI-boosted search terms used on its site in the previous 12 months were entirely unique, as opposed to the 27.2% that had been seen before. They went on to explain what entirely unique means, and what that is that it's never been seen before or since, right? That's huge. 70% of AI-boosted search terms have been seen once exactly in the previous year. How is that possible? I hope everybody's a little shook now because I was totally shook when I read that statistic when it came out in the news. So we got causes and we got effects. AI is changing how people search. So anybody who has a relationship with ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or any of the common AI tools knows that we've learned to create multi-sentence prompts. We've learned to put parameters on, include these, don't include these, right? So it used to be that long tail searches were the more rare searches. Well, now AI is making even longer searches. Think of it that way. The explosion of user intent and user diversity. Little kids talk to Siri and Alexa all the time now, right? So that's AI boosted and it changes the conversation. People are also seeking reasoning functions as well as research and writing. They're also looking for task automation, and they're also asking for substitutes for certain tasks. Now, AI tools also function as query engines, so they're trying to learn, not necessarily research, but learn. How do I change the oil in my new car, right? The AI boosted search is going to recombine phrases and sentences that have gotten it answers quickly before. So if someone like me gives them a really long verbose question, they're going to shorten it, but also because they do parallel computing, they're going to have different pieces of my question all being searched at the same time and then combined at the end for an answer. There are also zero-click, hybrid, and serialized searches. Sometimes the AI makes a search of its own to support the search that you're doing or the search that the tool that it's supporting is going to ask for. What this causes is query fragmentation. And then last but not least, there's AI-fueled creative language evolution. So many searches are done by AI and by specific tools. They've actually created their own shorthand that we never see. It's only seen by other computers. So obviously, this also changes it. So this is how we got to all those unique searches. Everybody with me so far? I'm going to take that as a yes. All right. So here we are. AI's role in procurement is transforming procurement. How and why? Well, we just kind of told you, because it serves you 3 to 5 options at a time. That's not a lot. It used to be that you could scroll through your Google replies and look for a company that looked familiar, right? No. Your AI procurement tool, you're going to type in all your parameters. You want it to cost X. You want it to integrate with this group of things in your tech stack. You want it to support this many users, right? The AI then is going to serve you 3 to 5 answers. That's it. The impact on human roles, well, it automates routine processes, and it also saves, in many cases, 20 to 50 hours of research. So, of course, corporate America loves that. That's anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 per person that it saves. So all these people who aren't working on procurement anymore, they can be working on more important things. The competitive advantage that it gives to brands who use AI-boosted procurement, we'll go through that in just a minute, but it saves them a huge amount of money, time, and thereby gives them the power to do more things more efficiently. The data-driven decision-making, the AI actually will give it a report of all of the reasons why it chose those things. So when they go to the board of directors and say, give me $500,000 for this tool, they no longer have to sit and pore over numbers. That's tens and 20s and 30s of hours again per person. The future is including sales and procurement AI boosts. So we need automated demos to stay competitive in this evolving landscape. Things are happening faster, things are happening smarter, and AI demos are one of the ways that we can feed the beast on both sides. So, what are buyers gaining? On-demand forecasting, which is huge. Supplier selection that is all data-driven. Contract management that is all data-driven and done in seconds instead of hours. All of their spend analytics are now reported for them. Real-time reporting, they can look at any moment and have up-to-the-minute reports as opposed to doing it quarterly, which most companies used to do. And it allows them to make strategic transformation of their buying cycles, their stocking cycles, their staffing schedule. So let's look at a few use cases. Demand forecasting. The statistical models that AI-powered or boosted procurement engines allow saved Petrobras, which is basically the gas company that the government of Brazil owns, $786 million within 18 months. Huge amount of money because it allowed them to balance their purchasing, their deployment, their building, and their logistics against weather, which you wouldn't think about it, but since most of these things happen at sea, makes a huge difference. $786 million worth, to be exact. Another thing that companies are getting from their AI boost is they're getting better selection of suppliers. Again, it's the algorithms, it's the performance metrics, it's those compliance records, particularly when you're in the oil and gas industry. Compliance metrics matter a lot because the fines are massive if you are found to be outside of compliance. So Marathon Gas integrated AI into supplier management, achieving 98% data accuracy. That's unheard of. I know we've got a bunch of engineers on this call, 98% data. Can you imagine that kind of data hygiene in your company? Wouldn't that be amazing? 98% accuracy? Contract management. Deloitte is one of the largest consultancies in the world. Contracts, redlining, finding if your business partners are in compliance or out of compliance, right? All of that takes forever. The risk management team, forever. And it used to be dependent on humans interacting well together and supplying you the information that you requested and all of the things, right? No more. Now, these things can be done via the AI boost in your procurement engine. So all of the details, optimizing terms and negotiation, all of that. Redlining and negotiation, usually, depending on the size of the deal, can take anywhere from a week to several months. Now that time is down to a few minutes. Spend analytics, knowing where the money went. There is a Fortune 50 company that I consult to who recently told me they lost $1.1 billion last year, and they're not quite sure where it went. Hard to imagine. Spend analytics are often very difficult, very opaque. People type in the wrong category for where money is going to and coming from, right? So inconvenient, so complicated. But AI boosted tools analyze real-time data to make sure that the money you're requesting matches the invoice, matches the timeline, right? That the money from here actually is going to there. Gives you extraordinary insight into your data spend. DS Smith, huge supplier of paper in London, 15% increase in mapped spends, and that freed up £300,000 of working capital in the matter of just a few months. Real-time reporting. Look at this. Is this amazing? If you were the chief revenue officer of your company and you were looking at where we're spending and where we're getting value and where we're not getting value, right? Makes a huge difference. Look at the value in the second box to the right from the left, where it says total value 161.1 million. Total value fell off like a stone. Is that good news, bad news, what we expected? I don't know, but it's great that you can do that at a glance. This is why our friends on the other side are using AI procurement, right? All of these things are making their lives so much easier. Last but not least is strategic transformation. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Choosing when to spend, when to build, how to staff, when to staff, how to manage our logistics, right? We can transform the way that we do business if we have clear and constant analytics, not just real-time analytics, but predictive analytics and historical analytics, right? All of these things allow us to do business smarter. Komatsu, a couple of years ago, integrated an AI boost to their procurement, saved $180 million in year one. These are numbers that absolutely mean more and more companies are going to jump on the bandwagon. So the result is unique challenges for solution engineers in the AI procurement era, because now you have very different expectations when folks get on a call with you, right? They know that their procurement engine has said you are one of the 3 to 5 companies that can help them, and they expect you to meet and discuss all of their key criteria from the first meeting. So we know you have reduced opportunities for live demos, and if you don't yet, you will very soon. Different verticals transfer to the AI boosted procurement at different times. So if your audience isn't there yet, it will be. You have reduced opportunities. So AI-driven vendor shortlisting is the impact, right? And what do you do to adapt? You need to focus on creating your automated demos that align with the evaluation criteria that your customers are using. So you know what their key criteria are. Does your website tell you? Does your experience with all of your sellers tell you? Not necessarily. So your sellers now need to be giving you very, very clear, very high-end information so that when you're framing a demo, you're framing exactly what the customer has stated their needs are. Focus on that. No fluff, no weeds. You tell them just what they need to know. The next one. In the red zone, we have increased buyer expectation for personalized experiences. And when we talk about this, these are folks that have lived on the freemium model, right? They have had an unlimited period of time where they could play with lots of tools free of charge. They could play with it for months and months. They expect the level of personalization that they would get from going from a freemium model to a paid model from you. 73% of customers expect better personalization as technology advances. Some of our products are really hard to personalize, and so are some of those demos. So the impact is customers assume that a lack of personalization translates to poor integration, poor service, and an overall bad fit. That means you have one chance to make that demo land in a really personalized way and make them feel great about the interaction they just had with you. How do we adapt? AI tools can automate demo creation by analyzing customer data and tailoring demos to specific industries or challenges. Particularly if you're using an AI demo system, you know which parts of the demo they spent the most time in. You know how many people they circulated it to. You know that the most collective minutes by the most people are the things that are most important to that customer. So that's one of the ways that you can save yourself from that poor experience that may make your customer move on to your nearest competitor. We also need faster response times to match prospect urgency. Now that everything is speeding up even more, people expect answers instantly. For those of you who are in the professional world for 10, 15 years, remember latency? Remember that was a thing we had to deal with? Now, if a page doesn't load in under 1.5 seconds, people click away. They assume there's a problem. Imagine what that means for urgency. Due to this accelerated decision-making process, SEs should respond quickly to inquiries to deliver demos sooner than ever before. Now, we know that time kills all deals, and a long time kills deals harder, right? So if time has killed a deal, if it has taken you too long to get to that demo, then you are going to have some chance of recovering it. But if you come back 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's when you can have your demo. There's little chance you're going to recover in even the next couple of years with them. So delayed scheduling, that would be outside of 48 hours, decreases close rates by up to 80%. That's huge. What if you had an automated demo? That helps. The impact is that SaaS companies that prioritize instant access to demos report higher conversion rates. That's not a shock. So the adaptation, obviously, is that SEs should focus on near instant customization and delivery while using their CRM integrated tools for rapid follow-ups. Now, one thing for those of you who have automated demos in your toolbox already, one thing that you know is that it has freed up some of your time, in many cases up to 1/3 of your time. And so now you're better able to schedule your demos quickly, good response time. And all of you know what that's done to your close rates. They've gone up. You're getting paid more. This is good. Last but not least, failure to address specific pain points. I hope you know this. I hope you know this. I hope you know this. The days of the generic demo are over. If anybody has a generic canned demo that they like to give and they're still giving it, I won't tell, but stop. Stop. You need to give specific personalized demos that respond directly to the pain points that your customer has mentioned to the seller. The impact. SaaS companies with low demo to sale conversion rates usually struggle with delayed or irrelevant demos. The adaptation strategy, obviously, is to improve your focus on both what your customer wants and what they need. And in addition to that, offer your automated demos in small, concise bites so that your customer can select the pieces that are relevant to their company and to their needs and circulate it within their company. Before we go on to the next section, we have any questions, comments, concerns? I'm going to take all this silence as a good sign. So how do we know auto demos will work for us, right? How do we know that it's going to help us with AI procurement? How do we know that the combination of AI procurement and automated demos is going to close us more business or even get us on more companies' radar? Well, we have to create effective automated demos. You can create crappy ones, but that's not going to get you very far. So, and I always do this in my classes, if there was one super important slide in this, this is it. This is the slide you have to know. When you're structuring your demos for AI prioritization, we're going to look at the impact side, right? We're going to talk about exactly what we just discussed. The demo flows have to be mapped to buyer pain points. The description on the left. On the right, make demos more relevant to complex search criteria. That is how you're going to get that AI procurement boost. How do you do that? Well, you're going to talk to the marketing team. They're going to help you out, but you're also going to come to an understanding of what Legos really click together for your customers. Do they want great service? Then that's going to be part of their complex search criteria. Make sure that that's part of the demo. You're also going to use clear and structured navigation. If you say click on, you're going to keep saying click on. You're not going to say double click. You're going to use consistent language, and you're going to use really consistent navigation throughout. Then you're going to make demos discoverable and readable by AI systems. You're going to do that by engaging the marketing team for data tagging. There are all kinds of tagging that need to be incorporated into your demos and into your automated demos. If you are not doing it, you are not getting found enough. It's really important that you're not a one-man band and that these things, once you've completed them, go to marketing and that they are AI optimized. Also, we need to keep our demos concise and short. They should run 90 seconds or less. That's what the AI procurement bots are looking for. It ensures focus of the piece and accurate tagging for AI systems. If you have a piece that's 7 minutes long, that's really hard to accurately tag for all of the things that AI wants to find in there. Doesn't mean it's not possible, but it reinforces the need for getting with marketing and making sure that they have every tag you need. Now, what about the human touch? How do we, assuming that we have optimized for AI, how do we go ahead and make those deals happen when we finally talk to someone? Here's how all of this makes you more valuable and makes you more money. You can leverage AI insights for more effective human interactions. So we've been talking about all of the things that the buyer is learning, but we really haven't been talking that much about the things that you are learning from your AI demo software. You're going to get engagement analytics. This is going to help you learn who's in the deal. It's also going to help you understand what is their top concern. Now, when you know who is populated in the buying team, that lets you know which departments they expect to be affected. Your buyer may have a use case that's somewhat unique, and there are going to be folks in that deal that you didn't expect. Really important to learn why, so that you can continuously address their use case, not some invented use case that you're assuming. Also, you're going to share targeted case studies and documentation with the people who have been viewing your automated demo, so they all have the same information in case they don't all attend those demo meetings. Done right, automated demos increase close rates for SEs. And actually, I'm going to stop and tell you a story right now. A true story. I just wrapped up a consulting gig with a company in Germany. And over the 9 months from March to December of last year, their inbound leads went down 70%, 70. They were horrified. They needed to know why. And what got borne out by research and lots of work was that their three top competitors all switched to AI optimization, and they had not. And it cost them 70% of their inbound leads. That's huge. So they have since begun AI optimization for their website, and their inbound leads have rebounded, but nowhere near where they were before, because now the AI bots know that these different companies are responsive to these types of needs. So your automated demos free up SEs to focus on high value conversations, right? Those are the ones that you want to have. You don't want to have the conversations with the tire kickers, right? They're not going to close. They are not going to give you brilliant use cases. You want to have the conversations about what this user really needs from your tool. You don't want to have that high level, vague conversation because you're just going to have it again. So now you have the time to prepare these demos and have the high level conversation the first time. Obviously, these prospects have self-selected, right? They have typed all of their key information into their procurement engine. The procurement engine has said, oh, this brand can do what you need it to do. No one's going to be surprised that they're in the room with those folks who are going to ask for money, right? They have self-selected and they are motivated to attend these meetings. So because of your automated demos, your demands on your time is lower and you have fewer prospects waiting. All of this is good. And depending on what you're selling, automated demos have a 3 to 5% higher chance of closing. So if you have a customer who has been engaged with your automated demo, they are anywhere from 300 to 500% more likely to close. Case study: improved engagement and shortened sales cycle for Reich. They are a project management software company, which means, right, they manage the projects to optimize for efficiency and accuracy, and obviously for great impact and output. So Reich implemented demo automation to scale pre-sales and reduce live demo bottlenecks. Sounds pretty straightforward. They saved 2,100 hours in the first 6 months for their pre-sales team. That's insane. That's basically one person full-time. That's huge. They reduced their live demos by 35% while increasing their close rate. Because again, that first vague, directionless demo didn't have to happen anymore. They enabled buyers to access demo earlier and more frequently, and that shortened their sales cycle and improved buyer engagement. And they increased their closing ratio by 2.2%, or 2.2 times. That's 200%. That's huge. It worked. Now, something that is not mentioned in their published case study, Reich has also AI optimized, which undoubtedly helped. Questions before we move on? Comments? Okay, so there are some conclusions here. AI-driven procurement's not going anywhere. It's here. It saves buyers time and money, and they love having the analytics. They don't have to write reports anymore. Personalization and engagement. Automated demos are a key factor in AI optimization because they allow that level of personalization that folks are typing for when they type in their criteria into the AI engine. Remember, those short tail, those 2-word, those 4-word searches are not the norm anymore. They are 12, 15 sentences long, extremely long tail. You have to AI optimize to make sure that those things are found. The risk of exclusion, it's not worth it, my friends. If your company is not AI optimizing, trust me, some of your competitors are, and they're the ones who are going to get found. And I'm sorry. But the good news is getting it right is not difficult, right? If you map your demo flows and you map your website flow to buyer pain points, helps you get found. If you use clear and structured navigation, helps the bot crawl and makes it easier for them to understand what you're doing. If you embed strong metadata and keywords throughout your site, but especially in your automated demos, makes them easier to read. Highlight your differentiators. Make it clear why you are not the same as brand B minus 20%. Keep your demos concise. It's really hard to meta tag something that's 7 minutes long. I really appreciate your time today, and I'll be happy to field any questions you might have. Hello?
Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for that. I am going to hop in with you with some questions in the Q&A. And just a reminder, feel free to add anyone that's watching this, feel free to add any right now as we go. So here, from lovely Chris, are these Reich numbers due to denominators, I think is what's meant, denominators changing, example, less qualified ops to work?
So it is due to two factors. One is that the automated demos helped the self-selection, right? Which we talked about before. So to your point, yes, the less qualified select themselves out. You're not spending your time there. As a seller, we only ever make money in front of people who say yes. So all the people who say no, they self-select themselves out. So yes, that number helps. But the other factor is that they did simultaneously AI optimize. So that also helped them be found by some of those AI boosted search engines simultaneously. So I can't tell you exactly how much was AI demos and how much was the optimization, but they work together. Does that answer your question, Chris?
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, just making sure I answered his question, that's all.
He added a secondary question. Maybe the better question is, did revenue go up?
Revenue went up. The closes from folks who watched their automated demos went up 2.2, or I'm sorry, just over double. Their standard close ratio did not change. So overall, yes. But for folks who did not interact with their AI demos, no. They were pretty steady.
Gotcha. Another question. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm getting them in order. Another question that came up that you may have answered a little bit, but maybe can speak to a little bit more in depth is, how is the increasing complexity and sophistication of AI influencing the procurement process?
So that's a fantastic question, and I'm going to get a little bit into the weeds here, so I apologize, but I'll try to make it quick. So AI pieces work in parallel. They don't work one after another, after another, after another, after another. And so when they're working in parallel, you can string a bunch of those parallel pieces together and call it an agent. And then you can have agents talk to each other, right? So AI is talking to AI. And this is now happening. So agent talks to agent and leverages the information from another agent, right? So my AI, let's say I'm using ChatGPT, it talks to Perplexity or Claude and leverages their agent, and together, then they go and work on search. So it is constantly growing. It is constantly evolving. And that's part of why I was discussing the importance of understanding this change in how people are buying and how corporations are buying. If you are not AI optimized, you're in trouble because it is not only growing, it's becoming more refined and sophisticated every day. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. No, that was perfect. You got that in a perfect little snippet. I love that. Let's see. Again, you may have touched on this a little bit as we talked from just what I've heard you say. But what are the key challenges and I guess pain points that orgs currently face when evaluating and procuring AI solutions?
Oh, heck. Okay. I'm going to pretend that you mean AI solutions writ large, but I don't know exactly because you can buy an AI solution for just about anything. You can buy it for onboarding or for tasks or whatever. But in general, what people don't know about buying AI is they don't know who should be in the room. They don't understand that buying AI is very much like talking to AI. You have a lot of do's and don'ts and workflows and potential. I would very much ask any AI expert, and there are millions of AI consultants out there who are actual experts, who should be in the room? Who should be on my buying team? And they will help you build great criteria because there are pieces of your workflow that you will always want a human judgment eyeball on. And there are also pieces of your workflow that maybe you're paying an executive to do at $125 an hour that you should be paying a bot to do.
Good point. For sure. I love that. I think it seems like that's all we have as far as questions at the moment, unless anyone wants to hop in last minute. Elizabeth, if you can stop sharing your screen, I will then share mine and
Happy to. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This has been really wonderful.
Welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, as we begin to wrap up this session, excuse me, I would like to share a few exciting reminders and announcements. Make sure to stop by the virtual expo hall to visit our premier partners who have gone above and beyond to contribute to making this event a success for all of you. And don't forget to check out our raffle giveaway. I love free things. I love giveaways. Give it all to me. Information on how to enter, as well as the live leaderboard, can be found pinned at the top of the public chat, as well as in the docs tab. And we are very excited to be bringing DEMOFEST on the road again as DEMOFEST X. We had a great time in San Francisco this past February, and we can't wait to bring the event to New York City and London again later this year. You can register to join us at demofest.com or find the link in the docs tab as well. So thank you all for joining us for this session, and thank you to Elizabeth for your valuable insight and knowledge. Up on the screen are the upcoming sessions. You will automatically be pushed to the next session in your track, and you can switch tracks by toggling to the agenda tab on the top left of your screen as well. Thanks again, and we will see you soon.